What's up everyone, thanks for joining me here on Blip This again. Today I have a product from eementors.co. This is their Internet of Things Starter Kit, which is a great kit that I find for anybody who wants to learn about how to build Internet of Things, connections, products. This is a great starting point for that. And I picked this kit here because I find that it's a well-rounded way to be able to learn something like this for someone who has zero foundational skills. Oh, sorry for the cat here. All right, so let's just open up this kit here and just take a look at what components are included in this kit. Here you go. So as you can see, there are many different components that you can play with and build projects with. And most importantly, this kit is a complete kit. It includes the controller board, also the expansion board that is very crucial to being able to build projects, Internet of Things projects. What I really like about this kit is that it comes with many different sensors, a lot of resistors, capacitors, you can see here, LEDs, ultrasonic sensor, battery is also included, servo motors, tons of things like temperature and humidity sensor, joystick, and if you really want, you can be, I think in the projects that the PDF has, you'll be able to build your own RFID scanner. So kind of like a keypad entry type of thing, you know, just like smart home products these days. This is a really great jump point for that. As I can see in here, these are really basically the foundational components in every product that is being made, whether it's by Apple, Google, Samsung, it doesn't really matter. They all use the same sort of components, but in a much more miniature form. But this is the basic of Internet of Things projects. And if you're really someone who really wants to get into building stuff like this, I really do recommend you check out this product here by eementor.co. Now, as a disclaimer, they did send me this starter kit just to share with you folks here on YouTube. And you know that on my YouTube channel, I'm really curious about building things by hand. Right now, I'm doing an Arduino starter kit series, and I'm planning on doing a series for this one right here as well. And this is a much more, I think for this one, if you're following my Arduino series, this is the next step up. This is the next step up of what you can learn, and this is a little bit more complicated than the Arduino series, and I think this, personally, I think this is a lot more interesting. So in this series, I would love to go through the entire, projects from start to finish, all their projects that they've included in this kit. And if you can follow along and see what sort of unique things and fun things we can build and learn from just this kit alone. Okay, so let's kind of just dive into these little components here and see what is included. Bear with me, I don't know all of the components, but I'm gonna read them off the charts here as I can see them. This right here is a camera. This is the camera that's included in here. Yeah, look at that. And I like that everything is included in an anti-static bag, which is really great. I like that. Resistors, of course, we've covered this in the Arduino Starter Kit series. These are different resistors and different ohms, okay? Being able to read the ohms value is by those color codes, which we'll cover on later as we start with this project. Here we have motors. This is, one of the most basic. This is the 3 to 6 volt motor. Apply some voltage and it'll start spinning. And we got the 9-volt cell. Here they include the USB, all right? So inside here is the PDF where it includes all the projects and all the fundamental knowledge that you'll need in order to build a circuit like this. So if you're just starting out, don't be afraid. They also teach you fundamental electricity, the Ohm's law, reading how to read the resistors value, things like that. I think this kit is quite beginner friendly. And here is, what is this? I'm not entirely sure what this is. Whoops. This one is a piezo buzzer. Okay, so this should be I believe if this will detect knocking, vibration. Piezo, which usually is a piezo crystal inside here, which generates a little bit of electricity when there's a vibration. most commonly used in NOx sensors for internal combustion engines. This right here is a temperature and humidity sensor. All right, you can see right there. I've never seen one this big before, but that's going to be pretty interesting to see and test out. This right here is a remote control, IR remote control. So this is a, when you have a remote control and it's an IR blaster, this is the IR blaster reader. That's really cool to know. LCD screen, right? Digit screen. It looks like here it's called the CC4 digit 7-segment screen. Yeah, that's part of that kit here. All right, so the next one here. Here is the servo motor. All right, it includes all these little bits that you can attach to this end here, and obviously it will create motion. You're going to use apply some power, spins, and you're going to use these little bits to create some sort of movement with it. And here we have the ultrasonic sensor. Okay, ultrasonic sensor. It will send ultrasonic waves through, and you can measure the distance from the sensor towards a certain solid wall or object. Very neat. We got your typical breadboard here. It's same construction as every breadboard, where the inside is horizontally connected and on the outside is vertically connected. You got here. This one's different than the Arduino Uno one because this one is much longer. As you can see, the Arduino Uno is about probably half the size, but you can see that it runs exactly the same way, positive and negative on the outside right here, and every one of these panels run horizontally with the separation in the middle. Very crucial for prototyping any of your circuits, breadboards. You gotta have them. Next, we have a whole bunch of pins. All right, this is nice that there's a whole bunch of rows of it, and they're all interconnected here. This is kind of cool. I mean, whatever you need, you just peel it off. It seems it's nice that it's all packed up neatly like this. This is such a high quality kit. You got the male and you got the female version here. Multiple of them, so you're definitely not going to run out, and you have all the colors that you need to distinguish your circuitry. Make it easier to build your circuit and your prototyping product. All right, so now we go down to the second layer here. In the second layer of the box, we have a USB cable. This is your typical cable, just like the Arduino Uno. I call this the printer cable. Kind of looks the same, right? And on the other end is a USB-A. So for me, if you're using a MacBook, you definitely need one of these dongles in order to use it with your MacBook, because everything has converted to USB-C. Nevertheless, not that big of a deal. Really great that they included this cable. And it's a nice long cable, so I like that. Second up, next thing up is this remote cable, remote control. All right, so this is the one where you're going to insert a battery. You're going to use it with the IR blaster that we had here on the second here. I believe that's what it should happen here. So this IR blaster will be the receiver end. This is where you're going to be using control, and you're going to point it towards here, if I'm correct. All right, so I'm just going based on general knowledge of what I have so far. So let me just leave this on this side here so I don't confuse myself. Next up, we have the expansion board. Okay, this expansion board is used with the controller board, which is basically the brains of everything that you're going to be connecting this to. So this controller board on its own isn't able to actuate any of these motors. You're going to have to need an expansion board for that, where this will be placed on the top or bottom. We'll see based on the project. I'm pretty sure it's on the top. And then from there, you're going to use the more high-powered like plug-in. You can plug in a 5-volt connector, 5-volt AC adapter through here. All right. I know it's in a anti-static bag right now, but later we're going to be connecting a 5-volt into here, and then we're going to be using that power to actuate the motors and run the sensors and stuff like that. Or I think you can even power it through the USB-C, which is also a 5-volt power. because in here in this kit they don't include the AC power. So I think most of our projects are going to be run through this thing here. Okay, so two of the things that are very important, there's the controller board and the expansion board. This is basically the main bread and butter of how you're going to get any of this thing to work. Next up, we got these connectors, which is very important for when you're using the breadboard. It's a lot easier to use when you just want to jump into different circuits, easier to control. Very typical, something that you're going to see in Arduino Uno starter kit as well. Same thing. Next up, here is the kit. Here is the kit for the, what do we have here? The 13.56 megahertz RFID card scanning kit. So this is something that, you know, the cardless key system even has a card, RFID card, which you can pre-program or program into something else, like most commonly used in hotels, right? If you want to scan the card to the door to unlock it, you can program that. That's really neat. So you can learn in the projects on how to create that yourself. Maybe use this card to unlock and actuate other things here, maybe by using this motor in order to actuate something when you tap onto it. That's going to be nice to see. We've got the pin pad, keypad module, right? And this is very self-explanatory. Everybody's seen one of these. You can just enter in a pin and get it to do something as you program it. We got the LCD screen. This one here is different than the one that we had earlier. The earlier one we were looking at, it was a digit screen. This one looks like it's a, what is this? 1602 LCD screen. That's what it is. 1602A. That's what it is. 1602A LCD screen. Okay. That's going to be, I think, pretty useful for something like this. If you have it on a keypad, you can see what you've entered in, and you know, fail or success. That's probably what's going to happen here. Now these modules are kind of cool. All right, so these are two-channel relay modules. So relays, what I know, there's two of them here. There are two in this package, and they look exactly the same. All right, there you go. And in this one here, I'm looking at this one here. Relays are basically something where you connect. They're basically switches in a sense. All right, relays are, if you apply a lower voltage power, they should enable a higher voltage circuit. And that's what relays are for. Relays are important because when you have a high powered circuit, maybe like a motor, and you don't want to really connect the motor directly to a switch that you're constantly using on a low voltage system, because that will wear out the switch a lot faster. So in that sense, it makes more sense to use a relay where you can control the high powered circuit with the low power circuit. Does that make sense? I'm sure we'll learn about that in other projects, and I'm hoping that's exactly what these are, because I've never seen these before, but I do know relays in automotive and mostly in automotive, they look exactly like this square thing here. Sometimes they're a bit bigger, but they should make a clicking sound every time they're activated. Okay, so we have here passive buzzers. All right, so we have passive buzzers. One is actually remove seal after washing. Okay, weird. We have two buzzers. Nope, we don't. We only have one. Okay, so we got a passive buzzer, which is this one, which doesn't have a sticker on top. Okay, you can see it here. That's what that one is. This one is this one here, a passive buzzer. Not sure what that does. Obviously buzzes, but I'm not sure why there's a passive or an active one. And this is the active one, which has a sticker, and underneath has an epoxy coating which protects the circuit. So the passive one doesn't have that coating to protect itself, but this one does. So maybe we'll learn about why later. This one here, we've got ourselves a joystick. Oh yeah, there you go. So it moves just exactly like a joystick on a rotational axis thing. You can see that's kind of cool. I've never seen how a joystick is built, but that's really neat to see. And it just returns back to normal. It does feel pretty easy to move. Feels nice. and a nice rubber coating. So I'm liking that. One joystick module. And next we have here is a bunch of LEDs, you know, everything here, transistors, octocoupler, looks like it's in there, IR receiver. So they didn't separate any of this stuff. They just put it in a bag, which is okay. Most of the stuff we did touch based on the Arduino starter kit. This is very common in circuitry that you need. You know, you got little knobs here. You've got well, they've got a tilt switch in here, okay? Capacitor, which you need, all right? Temperature sensors, yes. We've touched based on that. We've got little buttons, all right? It's also in here. IR receivers, yes. RGB lighting, which we have. This is an LED. RGB should have, there it is, right here. Should have 4-prong to it, right? Yeah, so just a rag bag of stuff that you can see here. I don't really think I need to take it out because we've seen the stuff in my previous video. And the last thing here, one of the last things here is this crystal dome looking thing. And what is this? Okay, so this is a PIR motion sensor. So this is the same type of sensors you have on security systems. You know, when you walk past by, there's a red light. This is the same sort of sensor, motion sensor. It kind of detects motion from far away. Interesting to note that they have some sort of diffusing like dome on this. Good to know, and it's in the honeycomb shape. So pretty cool. On the back of it has circuitry. Looks like it has some capacitors on here. Some chips, a little bit of resistors, tiny ones, obviously micro. So good to know. And the next thing is we have male headers. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That is what this kit includes. This is the eementor.co IoT Starter Kit. Really great, I think, so far. I did do a brief look at the PDF that they included with all the projects. It's well written, it seems, so far. Just at a glance, it is well written. The project seems quite simple. They start off with the fundamentals and things like that. Actually, let's take a look at that PDF right now. So here is the PDF that is included in the USB. And you can see it's quite nice. It has 15 beginner tutorials, so it looks like we're going to be doing 15 projects on this. And this is written by the company itself. You can see that it says that there is an Arduino ESP32 and a Raspberry Pi. In our kit, they included the ESP32, which we can also program with the Arduino IDE, okay? If you don't know what the Arduino IDE is, it's a software, an open source software online that you can download, which you're gonna be using to write code with and then upload onto your microprocessor, okay? So it's basically your instructions on how you're going to actuate all of these components. And if you don't know what that is, just go back into my video and you can check out the first or second video where I set up the Arduino. So it's basically the same thing. We're gonna be using the same IDE. And you can see here they have the preface where they talk about what they're gonna be talking about into this book. Overall, it's gonna be starting off with fundamentals. Like you can see here, chapter 1 covers the basics of electricity, which is really good to know. Ohm's law and things like that. That is very important when you're building a circuit. You need to know how much resistance you're going to be adding to the circuit, as well as we're going to be working with a 5-volt system. So most of that is going to be running off a 5-volt system, and you can calculate all the resistance value and the ohm value that you need. Chapter 2, they dive into the programming of the software, which is the Arduino IDE, right? Prototyping, learning how to prototype on a breadboard, and getting hands-on with simple projects. Normally with, starter kits like this, they'll start off with you lighting up a LED, a simple project like that. You can see that that's what they're going to be doing. We did that as well in the Arduino Starter Kit project. I'll do it again here in this project as well. Let me just zoom in here. And here is all of the projects that we're going to be building. This is the table of contents. Chapter 1, Chapter 2 is the fundamentals. And then we start off with building a traffic light control system, all right, using the Arduino Uno. And you have measuring temperature and humidity, operating Bluetooth modules with voice commands. That's really interesting. Sounds very sophisticated. Building a fingerprint sensor with door lock, controlling home ventilation fan with an Arduino, home automation system with a local server. Wow, that's pretty interesting. This is pretty, like, if you can look at all of these projects here, these are big step ups from the Arduino Uno starter kit. All right, these are higher level type of things. This is definitely more into the realm of Internet of Thing products. Project 7, how to regulate power supply using a MOSFET. Okay, oh yeah, that's really nice to know. Internet of Things based air quality and noise detection system with a Raspberry Pi, creating a sun tracking solar panel system. That is very cool because that is something really relevant in my life right now, and I would love to build something like that. I'm into looking into solar panel systems right now and weighing the pros and the cons, and I would love to have something that can track the sun while it's moving, because that's how you get the most efficiency out of a solar panel is if you get directly under the sun. Project 10, making your own obstacle avoiding robot. Wow, that's really cool. I mean, this could probably start you off in like robot fighting or something like that, right? Which is really great. Robots are going to be a huge thing in the future. This is going to give you the basic fundamentals of that. Project 11, making a Bluetooth controlled robot. Okay, Bluetooth controlled, really interesting. Understanding obstacle, that's project 12, and understanding obstacle avoiding robots, how they operate and how to build one. I feel like that should be somewhere up here while you're building robots, but I guess there's a reason why they include it later in the chapter of project 12. Project 13, building a smart dustbin with Arduino. Okay, a smart dustbin is something where you just, hover your hand over this dustbin, it'll pop open the dustbin. I think that's what it's going to be like. There are some really great dustbins out there that is able to actuate and close itself and tie up the bag after you're done and it's full. So I think we're just going to be starting to build one where the lid opens. Project 14, what is a tilt sensor and how it works? Alarm activated project by Tilt Sensor and an Arduino Uno. Okay, looks like we're going to be building an alarm system, a very simple one. And project 15, which is the last one, we have the Internet of Things based smart street light. Okay, so I'm going to guess this is I think this last project here, after we've gone through all of them, you can see that project 1 starts off with a control system, a traffic light control system. I'm going to guess this is very simple, activated after a certain amount of seconds, right? It's going to be pre-programmed with, I'm guessing, 15 seconds of red, 15 seconds of green, something like that. But in project 15, we're going to be stepping it up with all of the knowledge that we've acquired through all these projects, and we're going to be building one that is controlled based on real-time traffic, or I'm going to guess in a way we're going to be moving our hands somehow. That's my guess, because a smart street light sounds like something that will be activated when a certain event occurs. So that's kind of cool. Really looking forward to building these projects. All right, just to give you a quick glimpse of how this looks like, you can see that it's fairly well written with nice illustrations, easy to understand and follow. And it looks like, the English is written it's written well with the right punctuations, the right grammar. So it's not some cheap like PDF that, that will leave you confused. So I'm pretty happy with this. This is looking pretty good. All right, so we're going to be building out the series of this project, this Internet of Things starter kit right here by eementors.co. I have the link to the product in the description box down below. And if you use my code, you get a discount down there. Really great. Check it out. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.